Cleansing. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
So today we're going to be talking about cleansing, detoxification.
Hello, everyone.
You like laughing at yourself when
I
you hear
do,
yourself?
actually, I do. I think it's hilarious.
So last week we spoke about the liver. We spoke about how to help the liver, how to support the liver. Today we're actually going to talk about detoxifying those. Well, actually we spoke about it too, that there's 3 phases to detoxification, plus the 4th one, which would be the kidneys. And if you want to add the 5th one, it would be the brain. But today we're going to talk a little more on not just liver detoxification, but a whole cleanse of environment, cleanse of energies. Why? Is because spring is the best time for a detoxification of the liver specifically. So it's not just diet, supplement, and cleansing the liver, but it's everything else around you needs to be detoxified. So to try and bring yourself to a more positive environment.
To break it down for you, the body is how you intake stuff, right? Then there's your environment, but then there's your intake with your mind. What you hear, what you put yourself around, the kind of language people use. So Anthony's going to go over all the food stuff because we are doing organs, and I'm going to go touch more upon the conversations you have with other people, what you do for yourself in the mind. So we really do the whole circle, because the truth is there's you and there's your environment, right? I'm not talking that the environment all the way in Africa is going to affect you, unless you're buying stuff from there. But even at that, what's in front of you is what living in the moment is. Because the truth is, if it wasn't for technology, would you really know what would be going on around the world?
No.
Not at all. So
The other thing that we need to realize is also a healthier morning routine, daily habits. So what we think of, we become, right? So we're going to go over that as well.
And what you eat is what you become too.
So that's a good point. Whatever you eat, okay, it is a bit of a side note, but it actually could help you with a detox process. Whenever you eat something, you don't want to be in a negative state. You don't want to be in fighting with someone. This is why we try and avoid fights at supper time with the family or whatnot. Why? Because what happens is whatever you let out energetically, whatever you say, your food actually absorbs it. It's the same way as when an animal gets killed. No matter what it eats, the emotions it has, you actually absorb the nutrients or the chemical compounds, the emotional compounds of that animal that has been killed.
To give more context, there is something you can totally YouTube right now. It's called the IKEA project that they did. They did some research on on plants, sorry. So they recorded these kids insulting, and then they recorded the same kids saying positive things. The same recordings are going on with the plants. So imagine if plants are going through what happened, is that the plant that was being insulted died really easily. The one that was being given love, perfectly still. So Anthony has a point that the food you're eating, how you decide to eat it, how you send love to it, it does actually matter.
Yep.
Let's say you hate McDonald's, but you're eating it. You're destroying yourself. But if you love McDonald's and you're eating it, that's different too.
You could actually change the chemistry. We know that there's things to avoid for a healthier lifestyle, for a healthier gut.
Like McDonald's.
Yeah, exactly. Gluten especially, dairy especially. Not everybody reacts the same way, for sure. But chemicals are still chemicals, and we could love the chemicals as much as possible. It still doesn't change the fact that those chemicals have a negative effect on our body. Now, you could do the same thing with water. When you drink water, you can just send it love or send it the positive affirmation saying, this water is going to feed my body. It's going to give the nutrients, the oxygen my cells need to keep me sustained and to have more energy throughout my training, throughout my day, throughout whatever it is. And that actually works because I've actually done the test myself from being tired 1 minute to the next for training purposes, for my sake, as an example. It actually helps push through the workout. Why? It's because I'm not only am I changing my negative mindset to a positive mindset, but I'm actually changing how the water can help me boost the positive ions in my body as well. We're talking about negative ions that are more beneficial, but just the positive vibes in general. So,
And it could sound weird, we get it. But think of it this way. In the past, when families were more religious, they would pray before eating the food. So it's not that crazy to imagine that, religion or not, the fact that you're giving that kind of energy to the food that you're about to eat, it does affect. And there's so much proof about it. Just check out the IKEA research that was done on plants. It's actually really important.
Yeah.
And then there's another one that was done, I forget the doctor who did it, but he did it on sound waves. You know, sound waves in the sand was shifting a certain way. So water is one thing, then sand could be considered material, right? So the effects are there. It's all real. So it is very important to detox the idea of what am I taking in every day?
Yep, 100%. So we spoke about last week for the liver specifically, which is our main detox organ. Basically, you have your milk thistle that I love to use either as a tincture, as a tea, as a capsule, whatever suits for you guys best.
And we want to make sure milk thistle is actually
A plant, an herb.
exactly. It's not out of a cow.
Yeah, exactly.
It's an herb. Just want to make sure.
So you have milk thistle, you got dandelion, you got your artichoke, NAC, and acetylcysteine. You have the B vitamins, you have taurine as well. Amino acids. Amino acids are very, 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 very important for detoxification processes. Why? Because the amino acids actually bind, they actually glue to your toxicity in the liver and actually flushes out the toxicity. So when you have juicing in the morning, there are some juicing cures, make sure to always have it with a sort of protein. It could be an egg, it could be a protein powder, a protein shake, it could be pea protein, whatever it is, some kind of protein so that the amino acids of the protein can flush out the toxicity much more efficiently. If not, what happens is just juicing on sugar, sorry, that is sugar, just juicing on fruits or vegetables can increase your sugar levels, your insulin levels, because of the augmented sugars in the body, or because you're ingesting more sugar. So that's something to take note of. Then we have your B12 for the methylation. I think I covered them all. Yeah.
That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And of course, when it comes to food, you want to avoid foods that are inflammatory. Inflammatory meaning gluten. As we know, gluten can expand when given water. Now, I always teach this, and it's something that stuck with me since forever. When I was at a conference, and the doctor up in front said, think of gluten like glue.
Oh.
So exactly.
That's why you got confused.
Exactly. Think of gluten like glue. It's like gluten can be thought of as a sponge that when you give it water or when you put it in your body, it expands. And what happens is it actually glues to your cell walls, and it makes it harder for any nutrient to pass through. So what happens is the nutrients bind to the gluten, on the cell walls, and it doesn't feed the cells or cell structure or mitochondria like it should. And that's why a lot of people have dry gut, leaky gut, a whole bunch of autoimmune issues. That's the main reason, is because the nutrients aren't getting to the cells like they should. The other inflammatory components that we want to avoid, seed oils, so grapeseed oil is one of them. They increase your omega-6, which increases your inflammatory in the body. You want to stick with more omega-3s. Then we have dairy. Why dairy? Because dairy it contains a lot of antibiotics, hormones, pesticides, and all that stuff as well.
Are you saying to remove dairy?
Remove the dairy. Yeah.
I just want to make that clear, because dairy seems to be a part of everyday life. Kind of drives me insane, especially that I work in schools, and in the morning we're giving them milk, for breakfast we're giving them cheese, milk, and I'm just like,
don't forget
whoa!
Processed cheese. That's even worse.
So that, and there is a cowspiracy documentary. I love how they call it that. And there is research based on the fact that dairy does cause stomach cancer. So something to think about, because I'm very happy I don't drink milk I don't drink milk at all, actually. If I do, I gotta go to the bathroom right away.
I do too. It flushes out right away.
Right? And it's so funny because some scientists say, we're evolving in the right direction because now we can digest dairy. How stupid are you? It's like, you for real? That's what evolution is? That you could drink milk? Like, come on.
Actually, we're not designed to drink milk from another mammal, technically.
Right?
So when we drink milk, it's only up until the age of 0 to 2 from our own mothers. The closest dairy product, which isn't the best, but if you want to substitute, would be goat or sheep, because that's the closest milk product to our mother. Now, obviously, I don't recommend it, have a whole abundance of it. If you have a little bit is one thing, but don't kill yourself on it.
But you're also saying that's what's best for like kids, because like when you have to do, some women can't produce milk, and it's sad. It's a reality.
That's the other thing too.
But you're saying that those companies, when they do it,
companies. Well, you can think of it as a company, yeah. But those forms of milk is
Formulas?
better options, yeah.
Because
you don't
they're
want to
more-
have formula, because a lot of people now are having, or a lot of mothers give their kids now formulas. There's a lot of chemicals in there. There's a lot of sugars in there. A lot of added sugars that you don't even realize.
Right.
So that's what you have to watch out for.
Is there a natural?
I'm sure there is. I mean, I don't know the products. But
You'll
I'm
look
sure there
into it
is,
when
yeah.
I want a kid.
Yeah, you heard that, Jess.
Yes, you did.
So the other thing about the milk is that everybody says, if you don't have milk, we're going to lose calcium. No, calcium isn't. It's a big mineral that we need, but it's not the main mineral that we need. We need more magnesium, sodium, potassium, and all that stuff. But the thing is that you actually get your calcium from your vegetables. There's a lot more calcium in your spinach than there is in milk. Calcium is more in some of your tree nuts as well.
Interesting.
So
now that we went over all the food groups and vitamins you should be taking, I'm just going to talk about really letting out the stuff around you. You want to be around people who are positive. That's the reality of that. Your parents are people who have huge influence on you. Not only did you come from them, but there is a spiritual and energetic connection to your parents more powerful than you have with anyone else. You can have your superhero right in front of you telling you you're amazing, but then you have your father right behind you saying you suck. And as crazy as it is, your father's words are going to be more powerful. It's just the way it is. But there is a point where you do need to learn how to do what's called differentiation. And differentiation is really separating and becoming your own person. So to do that, you really have to ask yourself the biggest question: where do you begin and where do your parents begin? And the moment you realize who you are, you can cut that off, and that connection does sever itself. But you have to actually have that conversation. Sometimes you need help with that. That's why we're here. But that's one way. Another way is meditation. The more you meditate, the more you calm yourself, and you can see these thoughts go through you and say, why are they even there? But the best way, and this is because I am biased a little, is laughter. And why I'm saying that is, laughter is a joyful manner. And what's great about laughter is that you can laugh when you're angry, mad, when you're actually sad, when you're happy. Laughter isn't something where it's only when you're happy. No. Laughter brings upon the idea of joy. Just like the journey is the part of life that's worth living, laughter is what makes sure that you know you're in the present and you're actually enjoying the journey. You can get angry. You're allowed to be. I get angry about thousands of things. But I actually laugh about it in my head when I'm around people who would get offended. But if I'm not, I laugh anyways. I drop something, I laugh first. Automatically. Also because I'm a professional in it. But that's what actually helps me take a minute to say, oh, okay, I'm going to get mad now, but I am reminding myself, it's not that bad. It's really about letting it out. And so the more you laugh, the more positive hormones you have. Actually, you want to know how you kill your stress hormones? By laughing. It's true. Check it out. Peer-reviewed, scientifically reviewed, doctors say it. And if you really want to enjoy something, and this is another scientific proven now, is watch people laugh. It will actually make you laugh. And tomorrow, I am hosting the Canadian Laughing Championship, and you should totally come. Link at the bottom.
Yeah. We'll put it in there. If not, you could always go find it on Facebook. It's easier too.
Yeah, the group is called Canadian Laughing Championship, and it will be there.
Yeah. So we touched on nutrition, we touched on mindset, we touched on spiritual environment as well. You want to take out as much negativity as possible. The other thing, like we mentioned, those habits. You wake up in the morning, do you feel like waking up right away, or do you feel like snoozing the alarm clock for about 3-4 minutes extra, 10 minutes extra? Or like me lately, it's been a half hour extra just because I need that
I
extra.
wonder why.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Side note. But yeah, so the thing is, you want to develop detox, but you want to develop something that can help you push yourself throughout the rest of the day, right? So if you're waking up groggy, it's a negative mindset. It makes you negative throughout the rest of the day. So you wake up, you feel like, today's gonna be a cloudy day. Well, how are you gonna change that mindset? Well, it's a cloudy day. It might be raining, but at least on a positive note, the rain is gonna clean out the negativity at the same time. There's a different way of seeing things. Yeah,
change.
Perspective. Everything is about perspective.
And you could use music to help you out with that too. Put on a happy song, a song that pumps you up. You give meaning to what goes on around you.
Yep.
And that is what Anthony's pointing to.
Yeah, manifestation, you do the same thing. You know, not just happy music, you could also use frequencies. Frequencies at high levels, 432 hertz or more frequencies, that's when we know that there's a much more potent healing process that's going on.
And now you can actually YouTube it, which is wonderful.
Yeah, amazing. And that's it. So the other things that you can do,
one of the greatest detox I've heard people do is don't listen to the news for a whole week.
That's where we're gonna get at. Yeah.
Do it.
Did you know that those that watch news pretty much consistently, not even just in a day, more often, are 6 times more stressed than people that don't. So those are actually proven facts. So stay away from the media, stay away from social media, because that's another stress anxiety. Detox yourself from, we were talking about detox, but it's not just getting off the negativity. Get off social media, detox yourself from social media for a week. See how you feel. You don't need social media to run your lives. You don't need the news media to run your lives. Have yourselves be okay in your own skin to run your own life.
And this is the biggest recommendation. Review your relationship with technology.
Yeah.
Recognize it's a tool. That's all it is. Mm-hmm. Just like this is a tool that's holding water. It's not your life. It's a tool. You can put it aside.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's very true. You got to know the differences.
So now that we're on YouTube, subscribe and like.
No Name Podcast on YouTube, on Instagram and Facebook as well. And like, subscribe, share.
We care.
We care. Have a great day, guys.
Have a good one.